today I'm going to talk to you about the new moon, which is going to occur on the 24th of July at 1911, that is 7:11 p.m. Universal time, that is, of course. So according to your location, you'll have to work out when this event is going to occur. The new moon is usually linked to the idea of a new cycle. This one is going to start in Leo. You see the moon and the sun are here conjunct in Leo. So that has a meaning, of course, due to the fact that Leo is the sign that is represented by the sun. So the sun is at its strongest during the period when it transits in Leo, and that is going to last for about a month. 30 degrees, 30 days. And that will begin on the 22nd, I think, of July, although it will be different according, once again, to your location. And it will last until approximately the 22nd of, or 23rd of August, sorry. And that is the hottest period of the year, actually. So it's natural to understand, it's naturally easy to understand that the sun rules this period. So crossing the sign, Leo, is important because it is a time when we are organizing things that will begin eventually or will concretize when the moon transits in Virgo after the transit in Leo. And Virgo is linked to the sixth house. It is the sixth sign of the zodiac. So it's natural to somehow link this sign to what house 6 represents, which is work and health. So when the sun begins its transit in Virgo, after that period during which it will be in Leo, the beginning of a new type of energy will be felt. So the period during which the sun is in Leo is a good period to assess and address various situations and projects as well, which may become realizable concretely when the sun transits in Virgo. And in this manner of thinking about the transits, we can get prepared for what is coming next. So naturally, in the northern hemisphere of the Earth, of course, more likely, school and work will begin again after the holidays, after the summer holidays. And that is something that needs to be prepared. The better prepared you are, the better you will, achieve. Now, this new moon in Leo creates an opposition with Pluto, which is here. And Pluto represents regeneration, right? Destruction in view of reconstruction on new grounds. So something must end, because the moon opposite Pluto triggers the energy of Pluto, which is, once again, the energy of destruction in view of reconstruction. So Pluto would rather symbolize the end of cycles rather than the beginning. It's death, while the sun is life. And they're both in opposition. So somehow they're linked, and naturally, everyone alive today will eventually die. So will eventually end. But it's not an end in itself. It's an end that precedes a new beginning. So this new moon is interesting in that regard, because at the same time, it is a period when we should, start something new, but also end something that is not that new, something that has become obsolete. So we don't need that anymore. But we may be attached to whatever that is, or whoever that may be. Now, we'll have a choice to make, naturally, and the sun represents our willpower, our free will. It does represent what we want to achieve and what we are able to achieve, thanks to our positive energy as well, physical and psychological. Now you see that the sun and the moon in Leo are creating what we call a trine with those two here, Saturn and Neptune. They're in Aries, very early in Aries. So this trine here, which is a very beneficial type of configuration, indicates that we may very well be able to shed light, sun, on what is not so obvious, to make it come true, to make it become something concrete. This conjunction, Saturn-Neptune, somehow is linked to the idea that there are two universes working together, parallel, the invisible one and the visible one. And the invisible one is, for example, an inspiration, an ideal, an intuition. Anything that is not visible may have a chance to become visible if one is prepared to do what needs to be done for it to become visible. A project is, first of all, something that you think about. And then you do what needs to be done to make it concrete. So Saturn represents that. And the fact that both are conjunct indicates that there is a potential to bring them together. And the sun will give us that extra bit of energy to make it happen. To make it happen, we will need to act. But we will also need, first of all, to think, to analyze, to discuss, to communicate, to share what we think, what we want, what is our project, what is, our intuition, our inspiration, or whatever, and then make it real. That will be more or less the mission during this period. And that mission needs to be really taken advantage of, because we have here on top of that Uranus, which is linked favorably to this conjunction Sun-Moon and to this conjunction Saturn-Neptune. So Uranus represents the originality of our ideal, inspiration, project. We must not be afraid of being original, different from other people, other projects. There is room for everyone on this planet, still, and everyone has a right to obtain the best results. But those best results will, of course, depend on how quick one is to take advantage of an opportunity, and how much you are prepared to act, to work, to make the effort to obtain the best result possible, even though there will be, most probably, a very interesting opportunity on that particular day, 24th of July. It doesn't mean that you are going to take advantage of it. So being prepared for it may be very helpful, because you will stick out your antennas to really perceive what is going on around you. And if you have a project, if you are in this logic of wanting to change your life, to make it better, of course, the 24th of July, and then the month after that, during which the sun will be in Leo, it will still be in harmony with Uranus in Gemini, with Saturn and Neptune in Aries, and it will still be more or less opposite Pluto, which is in Aquarius, right across. So that first day of the new moon is a very important one indeed. You see, the moon here is at 2 degrees and 8 minutes, so 2 degrees. It's 4 hours for the moon to progress from the beginning of the sign. So 4 hours before, which is 15:11, so 3:11 in the afternoon universal time, the moon begins its transit in Leo. And then that's going to last for 2.5 days. But before it ends, the moon will reach Mercury. And that is what we are going to have a look